You're muted, Joe.
I am muted. There we go. Welcome back, everybody. Always fun to start off a show like that with me look like I'm miming. Anyway, welcome back. This is our show that we do after the show we have done prior. We just kind of discuss a little bit about what happened on the show. We give our scores and we talk about what we thought was cool things that happened and what we thought about things moving forward. So that's what we're going to do tonight. Welcome to those who have joined us so far. Derek Fleming says 8.5. Couldn't score it at 10 with all this news in the world. Dark day. Conrad's in the chat saying, yo. James Chadwick is there too. What's going on, James? It's tough. Yeah, listen, it's always tough to do a show like that when you know what has gone on. And I really kind of wish, listen, if this stuff has to happen with them, I really kind of wish they would do it earlier in the day. I don't know why they wait until like prime time. I don't know if they think it's like good to do that after people's dinner or something like that. I don't know, but I really wish they'd kind of do it earlier. Jason Peace, what's up, Jason? How are you? All right, so let's get right into it, shall we? You guys that joined us can score it. Let us know what you thought of the show, and then we will do the same. So let me start off with Conrad. Conrad, give a score for tonight's show. What did you think about the show overall?
I am fluctuating back and forth, and I don't want my mood to be what affects this too, because that's partially in this. I want to go 7.5 or 8 for tonight's show. Solid. I do like the lead up for next week's show, though. Next week's got 2 huge tag matches that I'm looking forward to. So, you know what? I'm going to say 8 on erring on the side of not underrating this because of my mood personally.
Okay. All right. Yeah, fair enough. And again, it's hard. You know, Derek said it earlier in the chat too. Chad, I give Impact 8.5 out of 10. Great show on the podcast. Always 10 out of 10. Thank you, Chad. Deanna says 8. Yeah, it seems like that's a fair assessment. I'm going to go with an 8 as well. I'll go into detail about what I thought were my favorite parts of the show, but I think the women really stood out for me tonight. And where things are going with different groups of the women in the Knockouts division. So, and also, we got some good lead-ins toward that next pay-per-view. They're already, lining up matches and stuff like that as well. So I'm gonna say 8 too. I think that's a fair assessment. I'm gonna go with an 8 tonight too. Jeff, what do you think?
Yeah, I'm going to hang around the same ballpark. I'm going to go 8 just because I feel like tonight, I felt like it was a good show. I don't think we got anything that just was over the top like last week. And I think maybe we got a little bit spoiled by last week's show because it was so dang good. But I mean, tonight still was good. It was just, I think it was one of those shows that they typically do that end up setting up for things down the road. So,
yeah,
I think this was a setup show more than anything.
Yeah, fair enough. And I think so too. A lot of the stuff in the back, the promos and stuff like that seem to be setting up for future, for down the road, for things that are going to happen down the road. So yeah, I agree. My favorite part of the show is Hardcore Country. Mickey James says Chad Schrader. Yeah, we'll get into that now. So it seems like everybody's pretty close to an agreement here. 8.5, 8s. We're seeing a lot of 8s running through. So yeah, no, I agree. I think it was. It's pretty much about the same opinion for everybody out there. All right, so let's get into a little bit of what we enjoyed. I'm gonna go tonight with. I liked a couple of the things we saw, like I said, from the Knockouts. So I like the thing that they're doing with the inspiration and with the supernatural side of Impact, and how a lot of the women are involved in that. Of course, Decay came in and kind of freaked them out early on. You saw that little kind of almost like a little horror movie thing. They were kind of playing pranks on them in the room there. They were kind of trying to run away. And then you saw them meet up with the Undead Brides a little bit later. The Undead Bridesmaids out in the hallway. So I like how they're doing that, because regardless of whether or not Decay is going to win the titles back, and you probably kind of figure out that they probably won't. But even if not, it kind of sets up for future matchups with if Su Yung wants to get involved, or it's just the bridesmaids are going to go up against them for those titles as well. It looks as if they're going to be in this supernatural kind of a world for a little while now, and it's a little bit different to them. They bring the two of them bring the inspiration, bring the comedy as well, and I like to see them doing that kind of stuff. Kind of messing around with each other and bringing the comical side to it, which I kind of like as opposed to the supernatural stuff. So I'm digging that. The Mickie James thing and Mercedes Martinez, we kind of saw coming. So it was cool to see her come out and challenge Mickie James. And now we kind of got our answer. It's not going to be Deonna Purrazzo going right back for that title. It's going to be Mercedes. And a lot of people are probably thinking Mercedes is probably going to win. And Mickie James might be putting her over and kind of been just a transitional champion to get the title back to Mercedes. So in both cases, I liked it. I liked where they're going. The match with Mickie and Madison was good. Old school. We got to see a matchup that we saw quite a bit before, and both of them looked pretty good. And of course, Caleb getting involved and interfering in that also. It looks to me like Swinger and the Demon are going to do battle eventually too, which I'm kind of digging also. Johnny Swinger not over the whole fake demon thing, so looks like those two are going to battle eventually, and maybe that will be a part of the next pay-per-view as well. I like how Josh Alexander's character is changing as well. He looking like he's definitely, he's not going to forget about what Moose did to him, and he's looks like he's getting that little bit of a mean streak going, and it seems as if that's what we're going to get from Josh moving forward. And of course, the Bullet Club. Bullet Club came. They interfered in that match. They kind of broke everything all up, and now that's leading into next week as well, and to see who's going to win and who's going to move on to face the Good Brothers. So you're almost kind of thinking that it might be the Bullet Club that might go on to face the Good Brothers, and who knows, maybe they're going to end up taking those titles from them. So my favorite part of the show is Hardcore Country, Mickie James, Kimberly Lee saying, I want those tag team titles. Jeff, what were your favorite parts of the show tonight?
Man, so for me, my favorite parts tonight were I really enjoyed the X Division match, the number one contenders match. I thought it was really, really good. Surprising to get Laredo Kid coming out of that one.
Yeah.
I know the favorite pick was Macklin, but Laredo Kid was, a bit of a surprise, which Impact does for us. You brought up all the stuff with the women and everything backstage. For me, I love the craziness of the 6-man tag. Like, I love the potential matchups that we can get out of those 6 guys. I really enjoy what they're doing there. So honestly, again, solid stuff tonight for them, and it gave me reason to be optimistic for the future, moving past some of the storylines that have ended. So good stuff.
All right, Conrad.
I was really impressed with what Laredo Kid did tonight, and I'm looking forward to seeing him and Trey go one-on-one. And I think the other part that I'll bring up is Eric Young. I like the reestablishing of Eric Young and his character, and why is Violent by Design a thing? Why should they be feared? What can they do? They really reestablished it tonight, and I like a lot of that. The knockout stuff was fantastic on both sides with Mickie James and with the tag titles as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, the Violent by Design thing, a lot of people kind of might have, missed out on that. Obviously, he wrestled the jobber, but still, reestablishing Eric Young. I mean, he's been out for a long time. Having him come back in and look as dominant as he did is always going to be a good thing. And see what happens with Violent by Design and what's going to go on with Heath and Rhino as well. If they try to take them on, are they going to get a third guy? Are they going to get somebody else to come in and try to help them out in that? Which we may see very soon also. All right. Let's see here. Chad saying good night. Good night, Chad. We'll see you soon. Let's talk about just some things moving forward. So do you guys think that obviously we're getting Mickie and Mercedes. Do you think that, like I said, do you think Mickey is just transitional here? And do you think Mercedes is going to take that title off of her right away at that next pay-per-view? Conrad, you could go first. What do you think?
I think you got to stick with Mickey for now. I
Okay.
don't want to think the transitional thing, but it is in the back of my mind like this could happen where Mercedes wins. So I don't want to fully write her off, but I feel like you got to go with Mickey just for a little bit longer, even if it's just still hard to kill and Deonna comes back possibly. I think that that's just an option in my mind.
If there's anybody else, let's say Deonna is still staying away for a little bit. If there's anybody else out there, who would you, if it was going to be a hard to kill and it wasn't Deonna and Mercedes got kind of put in the rearview mirror, who would you think would be up to contend for that title and take that title off her if it wasn't going to be Deonna?
Say that again, Joe. I got some background noise.
Oh, no problem. No, I was just saying, if Deonna did not come back and she didn't show back up at Hard to Kill, who would you think would be a person that would come and take that title off of her? If Mercedes and that was just a one-time thing, and then Deonna didn't show up, who do you think would be the one to come back and or come and maybe take that title off of Mickey?
I think it's going to be someone new that would do it. I don't think there's anybody in there right now. The Knockouts title picture is very strange right now from what you can do with it. Because you have Deonna. Deonna's built so strong that I'm like, if you give it back to her, you're right back to the same problem. The only person that I could really still say might be Su Yung out of the current crop of people. I would love to see Tenille Dashwood get a singles run, but for some reason they have not went with her yet as well.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. Jeff, I'll ask you the same question. What do you think that Mickey is going to drop that title? Do you think she's going to hang on to it a little bit longer? And if she does keep it, who do you think would be a person to come take that off of her? It wasn't going to be Deonna Purrazzo.
I think she does still keep it. Honestly, I'm gonna throw a oldie but goodie. What about Taya Valkyrie?
If they bring her back, sure.
If she comes back, why not her? And then the other name that I was gonna bring up was Su Yung. I think those two can be two of the ones, but yeah, I think if you're gonna bring back Taya, I would really love to see her and Mickie James with Taya winning, and then we go, and that's a good one too, Kimberly. But yeah, I think Su Yung or Taya would be good picks. Another kind of sleeper pick might be Savannah Evans. That might be another sleeper pick. Savannah Evans or Tasha Steelz.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. I was thinking Chelsea Green. And I was also thinking, what about like a dark horse where they bring somebody new in there into the picture? And how about Masha with a shot at Mickie James? Just kind of out of the blue. I mean, obviously they just signed her, but what about her out of the blue too? So, all right. Okay, let's look at the other side of this. What about this whole Bullet Club thing, Jeff? I know you've been behind this for a while now. You've talked about it for months and months and months. So are we finally getting a cap on that story? And obviously, if you feel that that's what's going to happen, is Bullet Club going to win this coming week on next week's show to move on as that number one contender for the Good Brothers titles? And if they do, are they taking the titles off of the Good Brothers?
Yes, they take the titles off the Good Brothers. Okay. Because I think, again, and I don't care if people say, well, you keep saying that. I don't really care. I still think we get an imminent showdown between the Good Brothers and GOD. And maybe it starts out in New Japan. I don't know. But I think we get that, and I don't think we can truly get that until the Good Brothers drop the titles.
Okay. Yeah, fair enough. Conrad, what do you think?
Sorry, I was putting something in the chat and I realized it was too long after I copied it.
All good.
No, it's definitely so I'm gonna say the same thing as Jeff. I really believe they want Anderson and Gallows in that World Tag League from a New Japan perspective. I think their tag division is hurting a little bit. They've got a couple teams over there, but they just made a team not too long ago of the Techers with Zack Sabre Jr. and Tai Chi. Like, you're just forming tag teams just to have them at this point. I think they would benefit from having a Finn Juice back. I think they would benefit from having Anderson and Gallows back over there as a team. And we all want that. And I think even if you do it in Tag League, you could bring more eyes over to it while promoting Wrestle Kingdom. It's kind of a 1-2, if you will. You could do something with this. And I think Impact should get one of the matches as well. And like Jeff said, maybe the third match happens at Wrestle Kingdom instead. Maybe New Japan's like, no, we're taking the credit for this. And they blow it off there. That could be really fun stuff, in my opinion.
Yeah, absolutely. J-Hub says, people call Impact a third-rated show. Man, fuck that. From a sports line standpoint and putting on good shows, Impact is above both WWE and AEW. Impact depends on product. WWE and AEW depend on names. James Chadwick says, push. Kimberly. Su Young is still hanging around. Yes, she is. Bring Kaya, Cross, and Scarlett back to Impact. I'd love that. Mia Yim, says Leonard. Everything that's true. It's about what you are looking for as a fan. Ricky Glow, Joe and Jeff, since Davey Boy Smith Jr. got released. Get me Davey versus Joe Doring. You don't want a chest slap, yeah? Yeah, that'd be awesome. Coming up this November, the World Tag League and best of the Super Junior participants will alternate on each night through the series from the opening event of the tour on Saturday, November 13th, until the final World League Tag matches in Hiroshima on Sunday, December 12th, and the tournament finals on December 15th in Ryogoku Sumo Hall. Well, there you go. All right, that was what you were typing.
Copying and pasting, I should say, from New Japan's
okay.
website.
All right,
but
fair enough.
But I just think this could be an opportunity too for the Super Juniors. You could have some people in the X division go over and help there too. Like, it just depends on all the clearance stuff that's going on over there, in my opinion.
Yeah, absolutely. It'd be cool to see that. I mean, even back when Jeff was talking about a lot of this stuff, when the open door started to happen, mentioning that, a lot of these guys might end up over in New Japan at some point. So, yeah, absolutely. I mean, obviously, things are always tricky when it comes to traveling and things like that, and clearances and COVID and all that stuff, too. So, we'll see. But, yeah, that would be amazing to see. All right. What about the men's title? And then we'll end it here. So, the men's championship, obviously, Moose is the champion right now. He's got some people looking at him as well. I mean, now you've got maybe Eddie Edwards kind of thrown into the mix. You've got Morrissey probably maybe wanting to get a title shot. And then you've got Josh. Now, Josh, it seems like he's going to have his hands full with Suzuki for at least the near future. But do you see how long do you see Moose holding on to his title? And I think this is, I think it's a good topic because, a lot of people are thinking, well, Josh got wronged and, he's going to get that championship right back. I'm not so sure. I don't know if that's going to get given back to him that quickly. That could maybe go for a little while. And we'll see. Now, obviously, Josh has a contract coming up as well, so that could enter into the mix too. So how long do you think Moose hangs on to that belt, Conrad? What do you think they're going to do with that men's title?
Oh, man, you've got some time, I think, before he gets this back. The story with Josh is similar to Daniel Bryan when he was in WWE. I think the more you have to put roadblocks in front of him that are going to keep stopping him. Right now, it might be Suzuki. Then it could be Morrissey. And you could just keep going back and forth of what's going to get in the way this time. And then maybe he gets that shot the first time and Moose finds a way to get one over. You could mess with this for a long time. Honestly, you might even be able to stretch this out to Slammiversary if you play your cards right. In my opinion, I think you can do it.
Yeah, I agree. I was thinking the same thing. I mean, obviously, I think his contract ends I'm not sure when it ends next year, but I'm pretty sure it ends maybe earlier in the year. So, February, March. So I think that might have something to do with it too. Will Rally Sports says, "Hi guys, Petey Williams. You forgot he's at WWE." Yeah. He was listed on that list of not being on the website and stuff anymore. And yeah, he did get a tryout as a producer over there for SmackDown. So he was at SmackDown. Yep. Jeff, what do you think? How long is the reign going to be here for Moose? And if they're going to get Josh back into the mix and stuff like that, when do you think they're going to do that?
I think you stretch it out to something like Rebellion, which is in April, I believe. Now, if people weren't so impatient, I agree with Conrad. You stretch it out all the way to Slammiversary. But I think fans will push for it to be before that. And I think Josh will get a big title defense moment in front of, the large crowd for Slammiversary. But I think Moose hangs on to it until then. It doesn't make sense for him to lose it between now and Hard to Kill. And I don't think I think maybe something happens between now and Hard to Kill where Josh has to be in a triple threat and he has to win the triple threat in order to get a shot at Moose again. Something like that happens. Kind of like Conrad said, it's all about obstacles with Josh. He's overcome a bunch of stuff, and this is just one more thing he has to overcome each time. So I think he eventually gets it, but I will hold it as long as I could. And honestly, if I were the writers with Impact, I wouldn't listen to the fans. I'd hold it. I keep going with it until Slammiversary because the payoff's going to be great because that's a big moment. You're talking about bookend pay-per-views for Impact, Bound for Glory, and Slammiversary. Those are their really big shows. So why not end that up there?
Yeah, great points. Hey Jesse, how are you? Hope you're well. All right. So we'll go with one more thing. What? Oh man. And of course, I just lost my train of thought. Don't forget, Sam Beal got his revenge on his mentor tonight, too, on BTI. So if you missed the BTI show, Sam Beal did get his revenge on Brian Myers in the form of pinning him there. All right. So let's put a positive spin on this, and we'll end it on a positive note. So obviously, we got all these cuts and stuff like that earlier tonight from WWE, which is horrible for any time it happens. We got some people who had been in Impact or TNA prior. So of that list of people, Jeff and Conrad, who would you most like to see end up from that list of people going to Impact Wrestling? And go ahead, Conrad, I'll start with you. So from that list, anyone in particular that kind of catches your eye? Could be somebody that was in Impact before. Could be somebody who was never in Impact before. Who would you like to see them bring in and think that they would really flourish in Impact?
Let me I'm pulling up this list here, see if somebody has it up just so I could take a peek. Why am I not seeing a full list at this moment?
I think I found it on Bleacher. Yeah, no, wait, here. Let me, I could probably read it off to you really quickly if I can get back up to the top. Give me 1 second. Karrion Kross, Scarlett, B-Fab, Brianna Brandy, Grand Metalik, Lindsay Dorado, Eva Marie, Keith Lee, Mia Yim, Nia Jax, Harry Smith, Oni Lorcan, Frankie Monet, Ember Moon, Trey Baxter, Jesse Kamea, Jeet Rama, Zeta Ramir, and Katrina Cortez. That's the list.
Okay, let's see here. Out of all the people, and you're just saying who would go to Impact, right?
Who do you think would who do you think could you see going to Impact and flourishing in Impact?
If I'm Impact Wrestling, I definitely want Keith Lee and Karrion Kross for my main event scene. Scarlett's coming with Karrion no matter what. That's a package deal. So yes on that. I feel like Eva Marie could also possibly work call me crazy. I know. I'll wait. Maybe Jeff's gonna say something about me saying this, but I think you could put Eva Marie with somebody and kind of give her like a heater and do the exact same thing you were doing before. You could even maybe put her with the inspiration. It depends on what she could actually do in the ring. I would love to see her in like some training drills and then watch that to see what she could do. Ember Moon is good for any women's division, I think, right now. She is definitely someone I would like to have. Mia Yim has greatly improved since she was last in Impact, in my opinion. I believe she was Jade before. So, yeah, Mia Yim, all about it. Harry Smith is another good person you could add in. I know I sound like I want to take everybody. I did skip a few names if you see off your list, Joe. Harry Smith is someone that I would take.
Yeah.
No. I don't know enough about Katrina Cortez. I only saw her wrestle a couple times under a mask, so I don't know. She was with like Sin Cara those couple times on Raw, and you were like, "Who is that under the mask?"
Yep.
Trey Baxter, maybe he would fit in the X division, but I would pass. Frankie Monet, I'm taking in a heartbeat. She can come back because she has a lot of history within your company. Grand Metalik, yes. Oni Lorcan, yes. And Lindsay Dorado, I'd probably say yes too. I think you could do tag teams with Metalik and Lindsay if they wanted to, or you could put them both in the X division, or you could use them interchangeably like that with Rich Swann and Willie Mack. That'd be the first feud I'd put those two in, actually. Let them just be a surprise team. And Oni Lorcan's the man. He can do a lot of good things with your X division guys. He would be a nice mid-card guy to put in that mix.
Yep. All right. Very cool. Taya, obviously Frankie Monet, I think, would be so easy to bring her back because, like I said earlier on the show, they had that storyline working with her anyway, where they were saying she was going to get put into jail for the killing of Johnny Bravo, the shooting of Johnny Bravo, a jail in Stanford. So they could very easily follow up on that and bring her back right away if she wanted to go back. I think that Cross and Scarlett, I'd love to see come in Impact, especially with the following they got over in NXT. I think a lot of the fans would come over and carry over to see them. Although, again, I could certainly see Tony Khan wanting to maybe pick up some of these people also. And I think, his character, Cross's character, and Scarlett could really fit in well with a Malachi Black if they wanted to do some sort of faction. I think that would work out probably pretty well. So, Jeff, what do you think, man? Who do you think of those names that we talked about would end up coming back to Impact and would do well in Impact?
I think some must-haves. I think Karrion Kross and Scarlett for sure. I think you got to have Taya back. That's got to happen. I think the two that would benefit the most, though, would be Mia Yim and Keith Lee. Because Mia Yim, who was Jade in Impact, she would be used. She'd be on screen. She'd have some great matches. A lot of people don't realize how great of an in-ring technician she is. So I think it would give people an opportunity to see again how great she is. And honestly, I think Keith Lee, if given the proper lane, I don't know that you necessarily put the title on him right away, and especially before you put it on Josh. But that's someone that Josh could lose it to down the road. He's a face of your company kind of guy. And I know Josh is carrying that mantle right now, but if you're Impact, you've got to try to find a way to get some of these people because, quite frankly, I feel like the doors are closing in terms of being able to get some of this top tier talent. And you got to find a way to make it happen. You got to find some kind of way to make it enticing, whether you couple that with the ability to work with other places or whatever it is. But, I mean, you just got to find a way to get some of these names. And I would throw in Bronson Reed, too. If you get some of those names, now people are looking at you in a different light.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I mean, especially after Bound for Glory, I know a lot of people were disappointed in the fact that they didn't see Braun. Bronson Reed, they said, was supposed to have been there. And of all three of him and Bray, listen, Bray, I don't know that anybody ever expected Bray because his 90 days wasn't up. So there's no way he could have shown up there. But there were people disappointed about it. So, yeah, good point. I think, in the grand scheme of things, I think that some of these people would definitely be maybe not that let's say not that difficult of a target to go after because they've worked there prior, so they would have known some people there anyway. And yeah, I a lot of these big names, like Jeff said, regardless of who it is. I mean, listen, I think Nia Jax would fit into the Knockouts division really well if Nia wanted to go to Impact. I mean, can you imagine Nia going up against Jordan Grace? Could you, some of the matchups? Yeah, Savannah. Yeah, I mean, some of the matchups that she could have there would be awesome. So seeing some of them get ahead to Impact as well. I mean, listen, that only makes that Knockouts division even better. Like Jeff was talking about Mia Yim. I mean, if any of them wind their way over there, and even if Scarlett ends up there and ends up wrestling as well, and yes, James Chadwick brought it up. Jeff mentioned it earlier about Scarlett saying that. Tweeted long after her release said the Smoke Show is back. Well, that's from Impact. So that's pretty awesome that she's teasing that right away. And I'd love to see those two guys get back there. Keith Lee would have been Impact World Champ by now, says James. Mia Yim versus Morrissey. Tim's on a pole match. AEW has the advantage, but Impact can still get at least a couple of these talents. Yeah, well, listen, Swag fan, AEW has a pretty darn strong roster, so I don't know that they're necessarily going to need to scoop everyone up. Nor do they want to, or probably don't. Listen, they have their own people they've got to take care of too. So not all of them are going to be able to go everywhere. Now, the fact that one of the big corporations is gone, with Ring of Honor out of the picture, that just maybe opens it up for other places like maybe MLW to get a few people. Like Buddy Murphy ended up going to New Japan. Some people might decide to go to New Japan instead. So you might see people get spread out in a little bit of a different area. The only thing I can say, and again, we can end it all here. We'll talk about this more, like I said, on our show on Sunday, much more. We'll cover all of these cuts and stuff like that. The only thing I can say is, and I know I speak for Conrad and Jeff too, we wish them all the best in whatever it is they truly choose to do, whether or not they want to stay in wrestling. Just hope that they can find what makes them happy, whether that be going to, back to another company or maybe staying on the indies and doing some work on the indies or something like that. So whichever might be the case, we hope that they all end up doing what they really would want to do or love to do. So it was a tough night, a little bit difficult. Again, there's no good time for this to ever happen. Most of the time we see this happen, it's on a Wednesday for whatever reason. Today it was a Thursday. It was very late, and we all found out about it late. Apparently people got an email this time, not even a phone call, so classy. But again, we just wish them all the best, and we know a lot of them are very, very talented people, and if they want to pursue wrestling, I'm sure that they will find somewhere that will want to pick them up and take them in. So Janelle says they let Nia Jax go because let's not, again, we're going to hear more things about this. Okay. So I did see the vaccination stuff. Let's not, because I don't know if anyone can really prove that. HIPAA laws state that they cannot talk about that kind of stuff. How it gets out there is another story. So let's not jump the gun on the whole vaccination thing because we don't know that for sure. There's no one that can really confirm that, and WWE cannot release that. It is, again, and I know that just from my own company, you cannot release that kind of stuff. So unless the person comes out and says it themselves, like Kyrie Irving is, very much not into the vaccination thing, and he wants to, do his own thing with that. And Aaron Rodgers said that he's not for it. So unless Nia comes out and says that, I'd kind of hang loose on that for a little bit. because people are the one thing that happens after a big, disappointing thing is people always like to look for answers, and they always want answers right away. So, let's pump the brakes though until we figure out what's going on with everything. So, all right. That's going to do it for us, guys. We're going to get out of here because we've got jobs to go to in the morning. We've got jobs like Keith has kids. So that's it for tonight. Hope you enjoyed the show. Thank you for coming out with us for After the Impact. We always appreciate it. Again, hope you guys have a great rest of your night. Enjoy SmackDown tomorrow. If you're going to watch SmackDown, obviously enjoy Rampage tomorrow if you're going to watch Rampage. And we will see you all again on Sunday. Don't forget, not Saturday, Sunday night at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time is when we will be back with our weekly wrap-up show. We're going to have a lot to talk about that night as well. So obviously with all of the stuff that happened today and the shows and stuff like that, we'll have a lot to discuss on our Sunday show. So if you haven't already done so, please subscribe to the channel. We're getting our way close up to 2,500, so make sure you go and do that. Also, make sure you hit a like on the stream tonight, and also make sure you hit that notifications button so you know when we will have stuff coming out, which, like I said, is Sunday. We will then have Abby's back on Monday. And we have an interview coming up with Hernandez as well, which we will be getting out to you guys in some way, shape, or form. We'll probably record that and have that out on our channel for you so you guys can check that out also. Make sure you check out Everything Pro Wrestling for all of the things you need to know about AEW, and of course the follow-ups and stuff like that he does on their shows. So make sure you check his channel out, and also follow Conrad if you haven't done so already. So that's it for us tonight. So from Conrad, from Jeff, and myself, guys, stay safe. Have a great rest of your night. Be kind to one another, and hopefully we will see you all again on our next broadcast. Take care, everybody, and good night.